introducing our Rabbi Goldschmiedt, to speak. But first, a quick story. The goings and age of Sha'arei Torah are also directly related to and linked to having the Rabbi Goldschmiedt and Alyssa and their family here with us as we both started this journey together. As the rabbi said yesterday, some young kid came to Cincinnati, met in a living room, and said, "Yeah, we've got a shul. Yeah, we got a job. Yeah, right. Yeah." And together we've grown. We watched him have his first shave. It's been wonderful. However, another memory that is clear in my mind, when we were in our old building, it must have been a month or two, very long into your tenure here, there was some kind of machlok, something was going on, some question of what to do or what to read, there was something. And there was an older rabbi there who was very concerned, but everyone deferred to our Rabbi Goldschmiedt. He got up, listened to the story, what was happening, made a decision, and I saw the older gentleman, the older rabbi, yep, got it, and it was that, and it's not that it was a decision that was agreed upon, it was that we are so fortunate to have someone that has been in link and step with the congregation, has grown with us, that we trust and value. And with that, Rabbi Goldschmiedt.
I'm going to sit. That's okay. I definitely don't do good with paper standing up. A little closer. All right. So, one of the things, Luis, you might remember you suggested to me to speak about today, as we were planning the program, is to take 5 minutes and describe what modern Orthodoxy is all about. 5 minutes to do that. I think Ethan Katz, if I remember correctly, I think he did like a few months series on it, yeah? And it means like a billion different things to a billion different people, so, it's not so easy. I'm going to try to do what I can here. What I would say, maybe more than what it is more objectively, it's what it is to me, what I think it needs to be for the shul. I think it's an important thing to just occasionally reflect on in terms of what our identity is. I want to start with something from Rabbi Aaron Lichtenstein, that tries to explain why. So he says, if I were pressed to encapsulate what I learned in graduate school, my answer would be the complexity of experience. V'idach perushahu zil gamor, all the rest is commentary, go and study. He says, my life experience in the States or in Eretz Yisrael, within the public or the private sphere, has only sharpened my awareness of the importance of this. He says it constitutes, if you will, modern Orthodox virtues. He says it's as much a temper as an ideology, as much a mode of a sensibility as a lifestyle. It's of its very essence to shy away from simplistic and one-sided approaches. If I may, that's the end of his quote, I would say that we are people who are comfortable with the notion that life is complicated. We don't try to simplify life, we just try to navigate life accordingly, accepting complexity. You may have heard of these recent authors. It's something I've been having on my mind recently. Jonathan Haidt and Greg Lukianoff, they're authors of a fascinating book called The Coddling of the American Mind. And they write the following about how to best orient a business in today's world, where a lot of new elements risk taking things off the rails. And they write that one should make clear to employees from day one the following. You got to say, our company's culture is oriented towards success in our mission, which is whatever you do, make widgets, whatever it might be. So we therefore do not take public stands on issues that are not central to our business mission. If you're not willing to work for such a company, or with people who disagree with you on some of your deepest beliefs, this might not be the right organization for you. You understand what that's meant to do, right? There's a lot out there that's not about the mission, that distracts. There's things that tear people apart, that risk ruining everything. The company can't be about that. You new hire, you need to accept that from the outset and leave those sorts of things at the door. A shul's not a business, of course. Running a shul like a business is a terribly cynical endeavor. Don't do that. But in this way, I think there's a lot to borrow from what these authors are selling. Modern Orthodoxy is, like I said, it's comfortable with complexity, and that means allowing Jewish life to remain complicated. That's the canvas on which the mission of Jewish growth is accomplished. So our mission, it doesn't leave room for the simplifications. Things out there that present sometimes a more simplified Jewish life are far too often just shtick. They aren't of substance, or they're only a part of the story. So at Sha'arei Torah, I'll give a shiur, let's say, I'm just thinking from recent experience, I'll give a shiur on abortion legislation on Shavuot night, and hopefully by the end of it, you'll be thoroughly confused about what you're supposed to think. I know that's the case for me. I was certainly by the end. I have no idea what to think. At Sha'arei Torah, you'll sit next to someone who comes from a very different background than yourself, who might dress differently than you, who practices Judaism differently than you, because in this context, under that roof, in which we're here to grow together, no, who cares? None of those other things are what the mission's about. In conformity, it might simplify things in certain groups, but that's not what the mission's about. At Sha'arei Torah, we celebrate, we're very proud of the state of Israel, despite the fact that it's the most complicated country in the world. At Sha'arei Torah, we embrace that many of our folks are out there in the professional world, in the Mada world. They grapple with their Judaism and they juggle with so many different things in a complicated life. We're comfortable with that complexity. And what that means is that we're a place, and this is, I think, the most important, with minimal barriers to entry when it comes to Orthodox Judaism. That the things that need to matter do matter, but the things that don't emphatically don't. I am going to occasionally annoy you about talking during davening, but I will never give you fashion advice disguised as authentic Judaism, right? It's about the mission, it's about growing our relationships with Hashem, and not anything that pretends to be about that. So for all of us, I hope this can continue to be a shared value such that you feel that it's a part of your identity too. Not that we visit Sha'arei Torah, but that we as a community are intertwined. That we feel like a part of something larger than ourselves. We don't feel, for example, like a part of our supermarket. We don't care about it. We don't worry about how our supermarket's doing financially. We just care that it exists so that we can get our food. A community is something we care about beyond what it gives to us. It's something more. And that's what Sha'arei Torah has been to so many of us for the past 10 to 11 years. And God willing, may it continue to be for many more people and for many more years to come. Thank you.